All right, Adi, can you believe that you've been in Charlotte just about 2 years now?
Yeah, yeah. The time goes really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 2 years now.
Do you feel more American?
I don't know, but I love that. I love
Oh, you
that.
do?
Yeah.
What
I
is it?
love
What
that.
is it when you say I love that? What is it that you love about it?
I loved discover this culture, and then I learned a lot from the people here.
From the people around
Yeah,
you?
and then yeah, I love it.
Did you know anything about Charlotte before you came here?
No, I never heard one word about this city before.
Yeah, me neither, and I lived here. Not in Charlotte, but in the United States. Is there anything that you have started doing that is more American than French, for example?
Yeah, eating like eggs in the morning.
Oh, you didn't do that in France?
No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
No? What did you do? A croissant?
Yes, a big part of the time, but no, yeah, it's kind of some small thing like that.
Yeah.
It's different, and then you take it on. And
Do you go back to France a lot?
just during the off season, yeah, when we have time to go.
And do your friends ask you a lot of questions about the United States?
Of course.
What
they
kind
do.
of things do they ask you?
How is it?
Yeah.
The soccer, how is it too? If it's the same in France or
Okay.
different.
Well,
And
that's
the life.
And the life. Well, let's talk about soccer. I think that's a really good place to start because just like when I go back to Portugal and my friends ask me about soccer over here, what do you tell them?
They don't know a lot about soccer here because for them they have this stereotype of it's a small league, without really a lot of talent or
Yep.
level. But it's not, because as we saw now since few years, it's a very good league, very attractive. Big players are coming now, even earlier than before. Yeah.
At a younger age.
Yep. And then I think that's a very, very great thing too.
Yeah, because my experience is that a lot of my friends in Portugal, they used to say it was a retirement
Yep,
league, right?
yep.
Steven Gerrard will come here, Frank Lampard will come here, but it's always at the end of their careers. We're not seeing that so much, and you're a perfect example of that.
Yep, and now it's not right anymore. So no, that's good. And yeah, that's, I think, the biggest thing that we want to share with them first, and then to help them to understanding how is it here.
Do they watch your games now that they're on Apple?
Yeah, more.
Yeah.
Even the Toronto games was early, so they could watch it.
Yep.
And
They're not
then-
up late at night.
Yep. So was good, and then now they can see it.
And they understand that the quality
Yeah.
is better than they thought. You know, when I speak to people like, to players like Ashley Westwood, when I talk to even Dean Smith, they always make the comparison between the championship, so the
Okay.
second division in England, to Major League Soccer, in the fact that it's athletic, that it's fast, that it's transitional, and end to end. When I was with Be in Sports, the channel, which you know well because
Yes,
you watched in
I know.
France, I did a lot of Ligue 1 and Ligue 2. And when I think of Ligue 2, I think of a similar league to MLS. Do you find it that way?
I mean, about the level, yes. I think it's a mix between the League One and the League Two.
Okay.
It's kind of more open games here than in League Two, because we know the League Two is like a league where the teams are very close, like here, but fighting every game, and
Like
not-
real physical fighting.
Yeah, and not really playing open play like we do here. And then, that's, I think, the biggest difference between here and
Is that here it's more open.
Yeah.
But very physical league. I
Yeah.
was looking at your time with Rodé, and we're going to get back to Nîmes, but your first year with Rodé was 2021, 2022.
Okay.
Funny enough, I did a lot of those teams. I commented on a lot of those teams. The ones that I didn't commentate, Rodé and Pau.
Okay.
I didn't do those two teams. And I was thinking about some of the forwards that you played against. Gaëtan Charbonnier
Yes.
at Auxerre.
Yes.
Such a good forward. I think he
Yes,
was
it
at
is.
Brest before that.
Yep.
Big, physical. You played against Toulouse. They won the championship that year.
Yep.
Brecht de Jager
Was there.
was on
Was
that
there.
team. Van der Boomen in midfield. Spierings, and then up front they had Reece Healy, who was a really good forward.
Yes, he was.
What was it like for you as a young player facing some of these guys?
Good, very good, because we learned a lot from small times. And then now it was very good to play against this kind of player, because you have to be ready straight away. Of course, you can do some mistakes that happen, it's football. Yeah. But now it asks you a lot of thinking, because the kind of player try to play to hurt you. And then that's what the league wants to. And then was good, I think was...
it's a good education.
Yes.
Especially because if you look at a guy like Charbonnier and a guy like Healy, they're very different.
Yes.
Charbonnier is like a traditional number 9, tall, good in the air, like, and Reece Healy running the channels very well. So you have to adapt quickly.
Very quickly. And then for me, at that time when I was there, Reece Healy was maybe the best striker that I played against.
Who?
Reece Healy.
Reece Healy, yeah.
Yeah. And then I told to break after that. And then he told me, I was a good player. And I was not surprised.
No,
I felt it.
When I first came to Charlotte, I was like, have you looked at Reece Healy? You know, but he was obviously expensive. Now he's playing for Huddersfield. Can you think of other forwards that you faced that year that stick in your mind?
There is some, yes. I'm thinking about one of Caen. The club, the name of the club is Caen. His name is Alexandre Mendy.
Yeah.
And physical guy who can dribble, shoot from anywhere. I'm thinking about Krakauer too in Saint-Etienne.
Yep.
He was playing in Saint-Etienne, and he was very good.
That whole Saint-Etienne team was very, very good. It's hard to believe when you look at that Saint-Etienne team, and I know that for Nîmes, for example, you were on the bench against Saint-Etienne.
Yes.
Denis Bouanga was on that team.
Yes.
Wabi Kazri. Just an incredible side, but the financial issues were obviously very, very costly for them. So you're at Rodez, but before that, you were at Nîmes, and you joined the academy. Actually, before we even talk about the academy time, you were born in Rouen.
Yes.
So north of France, in Normandy. Yes. How did you end up in the south of France?
Just about life. We left the north with my sister and mother when I was 3 years old. So I grew up most part of my time in the south of the France.
Yeah.
And then that's how I start my journey as a football player.
With Les Crocodiles?
Not really, a little bit in the south, more in the south, in Avignon.
Okay.
And the name of the city. And then, after that, I do some, how can I say that?
You can try the French.
Step. And then after I went to Nîmes.
And when you were at Nîmes, the team had just gotten or was promoted to Ligue 1 after many, many years.
Yes. When I came, we were still in second division, and then this year we go up to the Ligue 1, and was beautiful because it's a city of football.
Yes.
The people love football over there.
They're crazy.
Yeah. And then it was impressive for the first time seeing that.
Yeah.
It was really impressive. And then, as you said, we had very good players like Bouanga at that time. I think he wasn't there yet. He came when they were in Ligue 1. Yeah. But they were very good players.
I mean, I want to talk about that team for a second, but the thing that surprised me the most about, what is it, Stade de Costières? Is that the stadium?
Yes, that's the name.
Was in the ultra section with the fence.
Yeah.
Just how crazy it got.
Yeah.
There was one game that stuck in my mind. It was a Nîmes PSG. It was 4-2, but it was a very close game.
I remember. Yeah. It was 2-2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment of the game, and then after, obviously, PSG has some.
I think there was a penalty. I think Neymar may have scored a penalty in that game.
Di Maria played a corner kick straight away.
Oh, that's right, the Olympico in that game.
Yes, and then Mbappe, scored too.
And then they celebrated in front of the ultras, and you thought the whole thing was going to fall down. I also saw Nîmes against Montpellier because that's the big game between those two teams.
The biggest rivalry, yeah.
But so you're in this academy, and you're looking at the first team, and you're looking at guys like Ripard, who I always thought would be a very good player in Major League Soccer.
He is. I think because they were the figure of the club over there.
Yeah.
He has the
Captain's armband.
yeah, he wear, and then he was like a Nîmois, as we said. So
he was like from Nîmes.
yes,
He's a
he
Nîmes
was
guy.
from Nîmes,
Yeah.
yeah, and then that was important in that club, the culture of the city, of the people, of the fans.
Yeah.
That's how we get educated.
From guys like that who could play every position. He could
Yeah.
be a defender. He could be a
Yeah.
center forward.
And big worker.
And so I would assume that when you practiced with the first team, you learned a lot from playing against guys like him.
Yeah, of course, because obviously it's also your first time with professional players.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, you have to adapt your level to them to try to access.
What
to
did
play
they
with
treat you like? So when you went to practice, was it like welcoming, or were they trying to teach you a lesson right away?
I mean, in France, it's a different mentality, so it depends of the player, of the group, of the moment, a little bit.
When you say different mentality, I need to push you on that. What do you mean it's a different mentality?
No, I mean, as I said, it depends of with who you can deal with. Yeah.
But it's more cutthroat.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. Let's say if you want something, you really have to go for it because they will not let you take even a small thing from their space.
Take their money or take their lunch.
Everything like that. But that's from you because you have to keep in your mind that you have to fight for everything.
Right. You've got to be tough.
And obviously, I don't forget. Yeah, there is also very good people who help you on the daily basis to adapt you with the.
You're talking about players or just staff in the club?
Both.
Was there a player that helped you more than anybody else?
No, there were some. I'm thinking about a player that I played with after that, Clément Depré.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in Nîmes, and also the staff, the assistant coaches was pretty accessible. So.
I want to ask you before we get back to MLS. I want to ask you about another player, and that is, if somebody asks me 20, 30 years from now, I've had the opportunity to see Messi live, Ronaldo, Neymar, a lot of these guys. But if somebody asked me, who's the one player that you wanted to see live that you didn't see, my answer would be Teji Savanier. And I know that most people don't know who Teji Savanier is, but for me, he's just one of the most gifted players I've ever seen on the ball.
He's very, very, very talented. He has a crazy right foot. And then, if he's a footballer. He feels it, he smells it, you can see it.
He's like a street baller.
Yeah, he is. And then, I don't know if you can now see him in Montpellier. But
he went to the rivals.
Yep, he went.
Yeah.
And then, he's very good. And then, was really impressive to play with in Nîmes and to see him play because he inspired a lot us. So.
Are there, and I recommend people go and see videos of him on YouTube because he scored just absolutely ridiculous goals. So you go to Rodez, and then MLS comes knocking, Charlotte FC comes knocking. Talk to me about that process a little bit. What was that like?
The season was already started in League 2 at that moment. I played the first game of the year with Rodez, and then I knew Charlotte FC before that game came for me too. So pretty fast, maybe in 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a half. Yeah, was the end of the mercato, transfer window.
Yep.
In France. So we had to take a decision, and then it was a big opportunity to play in first division in a league where they are growing up. So was good, and that's why.
So it wasn't a difficult decision. You felt like it was the right move at the time.
Yeah, I think it was the right thing to do at that time. Yeah.
Which just goes to show that a lot of players, young players, now see MLS as a great way to move to even bigger teams in Europe.
Yeah, because it's following by a lot of more people now, and then that's an important part. And then obviously when you come in a club, in a new club, you come because you want to play, and then that's the biggest thing. I think I knew that the coach and the club wanted me to play, and then that's why I wanted to come here.
Right. Makes complete sense. I forgot to ask you, did you have like a center back idol when you were growing up? Someone that you wanted to learn from a little
Yeah, Thiago Silva.
bit? Okay.
Yeah, when I was young, even now, because he's an example for every center back. I think.
He just doesn't seem to get old
Yeah,
either.
yeah, and even he adapts his game every time with his age.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy part of him.
Going to the Premier League, the fastest league in Europe, when he was already
Yeah.
or is at the tail end of his career
Yep.
after winning almost everything for PSG.
And then that's really impressive.
So you've come here, obviously you're a staple on this team, you're a big part of the team, you always start. Tell me a little bit about your adaptation period, because you mentioned that the game is a lot more open here. Last season you played a footballing system, a tactical system that left a lot of open field behind you. What was that like?
Was good because we create a lot of chances last year, but maybe a little bit more about my adaptation. I'm thinking about some guys. I came at the same time as Nate and Byrne.
Yeah.
And then when I came, I met Anton Walks, who helped me a lot because he just helped me every day to feel good on the team with the team. And then I played with for the first games. And then that's why I was confident from the start. And then with the confidence of obviously the coach and the staff. You want to show your quality, and then that was my way to, yeah.
And how different is it now? Now you're playing for Dean Smith, who was a professional center back. It's a completely different tactical approach. What's that adjustment been like? Has it been easier, perhaps, for you? Harder?
Yeah, I mean, I would say on some part, like physically, it's easier because we defend more as a team than only just 1v1 a little bit everywhere in the pitch. So no, I learn a lot. I'm learning still, and then it's good to have someone as the coach,
Yeah.
who was a center back to help
Who's
us.
in that position, right? He can understand what you're going through a lot more than perhaps another coach who didn't play that position. What are what were some of the teams that you've played against here in MLS, or some of the players that you had the hardest time against? Let's start with teams and then let's move to players.
I mean, I will say Cincinnati probably. Yeah, because they have good players, but they are good with, in general, a good team. And after, yeah, of course, there is some very good teams.
Yeah.
And it depends sometimes the moment, the game, a little bit everything.
And biggest battles against certain forwards, the ones that perhaps if you see the schedule now and you think to yourself, oh man, that's going to be tougher than this game because of this guy. Who's that guy, or who are those guys?
Yeah, I will say maybe 3 teams I'm thinking about. DC. I'm thinking about Benteke because I know it's a big battle against this kind of forward physically, and then after you have also other teams like Inter Miami, or when you play against Messi, it's another type of games.
What was that like? Did you ever think that you'd be on the same field as Leo Messi?
No, we cannot say the opposite, but it was impressive the first time. And then, yeah, you can feel it. You know you are playing against the best player maybe of all time. So,
is it one of those situations where you know that this guy is the best player in the world? You've watched him on television, but then he's in front of you, and you see him do the things that you see on TV. What is that process like when you're like, oh my God, I've seen him do that on television. He just did that in front of me, and he's coming towards me.
You don't have time to think.
No?
No, because you are on your game, and then you have to do the best thing to stop him. So no, of course it's really impressive, and good to play against this kind of player because
course.
You can only learn about them.
Of course, of course. You know, some players, you know, in MLS come out of college and they're playing next to him and they're playing against him. The Benteke one is interesting. I wasn't thinking about that, but he's such a physical presence, winning everything in the air. One of the things I was thinking about is when you arrived here, I think you were the only French speaker, right?
Yes, the coach was speaking a little bit French.
A little
also.
bit.
But yeah, I was, yeah.
But now you've got a group. Does Brecht speak French?
Yes, he does.
So you got Brecht, you got Hamadi, I
Yes.
think speaks French. You got Jabril, who you played against when he was at Caen.
Yeah,
He
I
was on the
didn't
bench.
play against, but yeah,
Yeah.
he was on the bench at that moment.
Who am I missing?
Bill Choloma, yeah.
How's his French?
Good, good, very good, very good. It's really impressive to learn French like this in through 2 or 3 years in France or only.
Well, you did it with English too.
Yeah, but I think English is easier than French language.
Yeah. Does it make it easier? Does it make it easier when you have people
Yeah,
around you who speak the same language?
100%, yeah, 100%.
Well, you've learned English very quickly. Now you have a group of guys that you can speak French with. I'm assuming that culturally, it's also a really important thing. Adil, great to talk to you, man. Wishing you the very best of luck this
Always.
season.
Thank you.
Next few games are at home, so let's hope that helps propel the team forward.
Yeah, we'll show, we'll show.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.